The round of 8 just about ready to go down in the National Sim Racing League playoffs as we kick things off at Texas Motor Speedway. Will the winner punch their ticket into the championship 4 race at Phoenix? We're moments from finding out. We welcome you to the NASCAR Cup Series from Texas Motor Speedway. It's the Lonestar 335. 8 drivers currently in playoff contention at the moment. The list of the drivers: Josh Ducey, Dylan Clark, Tyler Isley, Brian Preslar, Josh Aaron, Alan Crowell, Justin Diltz, and Mark Sikosi, all with a chance at a championship still. As we come on the air and say, good evening, friends. Marty Cicala with you alongside former eNASCAR Coca-Cola iRacing Series driver, that in Ashton Crowder. Ashton, Texas Motor Speedway. Thank goodness no PJ1 is here, but it's going to be a lot of fun here tonight. The low line likely be key, but there's a couple of grooves that can take place around Texas.
Yeah, no, this is a great track with or without PJ1. I feel like both of us kind of staying on the side of PJ1 being not so great. But it's an extremely hard racetrack, setting up wise and driving wise. 1 and 2 being, I mean, as far different from 3 and 4 as you'll ever get at a racetrack. And it makes me excited, Marty, because I love this place. I've had a lot of success here in leagues and different official races and whatnot. So how are you feeling about it?
It should be a fun one tonight. We were off the air last week at the Charlotte Roval as I had some other commitments that came up with work that I was really behind on. But we're here. Last week was a dominator by the KTS drivers, specifically Dylan Clark, who took the win by over a minute and 30 seconds. But we're here at Texas. Low downforce, 670 horsepower. It should be a fun one to watch tonight. Take a look and see how qualifying is doing at the moment. Just about halfway done with it. 5 minutes left. And it's currently Brian Preslar that is on the top of the charts with a 29.86. You're watching Briggs Swope on the track. Not a playoff driver. Was knocked out by 1 point to Justin Diltz. We only have 7 drivers of the playoff drivers that are in this race. Josh Ducey, Dylan Clark, Tyler Isley all in. Brian Preslar, I do not see any sign of him. Nope, he's in. I'm sorry. He's currently at the top of the charts. Josh Aaron, Alan Crowell, Justin Diltz. I see. And then as well, Mark's. Actually, you know what? We don't see Justin Diltz. Yep, we do see Justin Diltz. He's on track. Then the last one, of course, is Mark Sikosi. So we do have all 8 drivers here. Sometimes I lose track of count. Anyway.
It's harder than it looks.
Absolutely.
It really is.
Briggs Swope up to 8th quick in qualifying. You're watching Diltz on track as he works on his second lap. Again, beating Briggs Swope in the playoffs by 1. So pretty much just like the Charlotte Roval. 1 point to the good. Diltz goes up to 9th. Let's go to Mark Sikosi, who got that second win of the season at Talladega a couple weeks ago. It was so good to see that happen to him because he'd been trying so hard, Ashton, to gain that second win.
Yeah, he had been. It took a lot of effort for him to get that, but it's well deserved. I mean, it's up there at pretty much every single week, unless he had damage. That was the only time he'd be ever taken out of contention. But it was big for him. It really was. You could tell the emotion there. He's been real frustrated the past however many weeks it's been since his last win, but got it all done, and now he gets to come into Texas and be nice and calm, and a whole new round for him. So
he hadn't won a race since Myrtle Beach, which was early on in the season. First lap for Mark Sikosi. He goes 12th quick at a 30.36.
I can tell you too. You get that first win of the year, and you're like, man, on top of the world basically, and then brain, even though you try to turn that off, it just tells you every single week, like, man, I got to redo that, or else, I'm washed up, etc. And I'm sure that was going through his head. Probably not as much as it goes through mine, but it is very easy to get on that side of things.
What a lap for Sikosi on lap 2 with a 30.05. He goes second quick. Let's watch playoff driver Dylan Clark, currently 4th at the moment. Much better in the first half of the lap. Let's see how he is in the second half. This is looking going to be close here. Second quick by 800ths. 29.95 overtakes on Mark Sikosi for the spot. Now we head to Landon Lacey, who him along with Josh Susie has a chance to break your record for wins this season. You've got 7. These guys are looking for 8.
Yeah, I keep saying as soon as they do that, I'm gonna have to get back in here. So you might be losing me before before too long.
Lacey using the high side just to get the engine temps warmed up, and so we can get a good exit off of turn 4 with the banking at Texas Motor Speedway. As Lacey goes 7th quick at a 30.14. 24 degrees of banking in turns 3 and 4. 20 degrees in turns 1 and 2. Got to be careful about the starts here as well, Ashton. That's going to be really key.
Yeah, it is. Being anywhere but the bottom is going to be real tough on you. So you basically just got to get lucky. But you can start from the top.
Oh,
Lacey.
Lacey will qualify 7th. That lap will be invalidated. Josh Susie likely with a chance to go for one more lap. It's going to be very close. And he'll have one more lap in qualifying. Susie starts things off 16th at a 30.35. So we'll see what the young driver can do with the most playoff points of any driver this season. Much better in Sector 1. Running that low side, going to be key. Going to be close here off of turn 4. If he can get it in time, he will get it in time. Off the corner, won't be a pole lap. However, though, gets it up to 3rd quick at a 29.95. That does it for qualifying, as Brian Preslar will start from the pole position here tonight for Brian Preslar. That is his 4th of the year.
Yeah, that is a great lap by Brian there.
So we get
about 10th quicker.
So we get set to go racing. Here's the starting lineup for tonight. Brian Preslar and Dylan Clark are on the front row. 29.866 for Brian Preslar. Row number 2 is Josh Susie and Mark Sikosi. Row 3, Tyler Isley and Kyle Milliken. Milliken, the first driver in the field, not in the playoffs. Row number 4 is Don DeGroot and Landon Lacey. 2 drivers not in the playoffs. Then you find Josh Aaron on the outside of row number 4. It's be outside of row number 5. And next to him is David Smeal. The 6th row, you'll find Ryan Broderick and Briggs Swope, who have yet to grid. Row number 7, you'll find Justin Diltz and Alan Crowell, teammates. Row 8, Ryan Chapman and Steve Stripmatter were the final drivers to qualify. And these are the drivers that are in based off of their based off of their I rating order. It is Kayla McCarthy, David Salter in row number 9, Stan Mayberry, Robbie Bice, row 10. Row 11 is Tom Pera and Jimmy Barr. Our air traffic control director tonight is Chris Lynn. So he is up here if we need anything in case the racing gets boring.
Good call.
We don't expect it to be, though, because it's Texas Motor Speedway with a next-gen car. It should be good. Here's your weather. Yeah, go ahead.
Sorry. Texas got a lot of grip, but with these cars, them being low downforce, speeds that they're going to be carrying into 1. I mean, it's going to be on the edge.
Here's the weather for tonight. 69 degrees is the air temp. 71 degrees is the track temp set on March 30th. The iRacing time is set just around 7:30. That's Central Time at Texas Motor Speedway. And yes, Chris, you bet I missed you. You saw your race analysis on our pre-race card. We'll show it to you once again. Again, 200 laps, 300 miles. Stages will end at laps 45, 90, and 200. 1.5 mile quad oval, 20 degrees in the turns 1 and 2 where they are in right now, and 4 degrees higher in 3 and 4, seating just over 180,000. All drivers have 6 tire sets, and that will be the situation for the rest of the season. So just about half a lap away from green flag here, Ashton. Your pick to win.
Man, I don't really want to pick any of these guys. I don't want to jinx them. But to keep my streak alive, I'm going to go with Landon Lacey.
Landon Lacey looking for his 8th win of the season. I tell you what, he's won in a quad oval before. Give me Tyler Isley for his 3rd win of the season.
It's a good pick.
Well, the round of 8 begins here at Texas Motor Speedway. We then go to Kansas and Martinsville Speedway to determine your championship 4. We're glad you could join us. It's the round of 8. Where else where you rather be than right here, right now? The top 5 all championship contenders in the quest. Race fans, it's showtime in Texas.
Dylan Clark got a great jump from the outside there, and he's going to have a chance to be contended up there to get the lead. He's not going to be able to.
Clark and Susie side by side off of the second corner, right behind Preslar. It's double wide. Preslar pacing the field into turn number 3. Susie, though, coming out with the advantage, but here comes Tyler Isley looking for P3 on the track. Josh Sheridan, the 77, also making some moves. He's picked up 3 spots as lap 1's in the books, led by the 67 of Preslar. Meanwhile, Isley's still in the fight with Clark for 3rd position, Ashton.
Yeah, and Isley's not going to let that one go real easy. He takes no prisoners out there, really. He doesn't like to give it up.
That's definitely for sure. Oh, Isley almost lost the car. Goes the groove up, went really tight, entering turn number 3. Could cost him 3rd at the line, and it does. Clark gets the advantage. Josh Susie, though, closing in on the leader. In fact, fastest car on the track right now at a 30.18.
Yeah, you know Susie's always going to be there. It's a very long race, 200 laps, but you know, he's got the car to do it. He's one of the fastest in practice, one of the fastest in qualifying, so he's going to be eating Brian up this whole run.
7 wins this season. We got trouble. Jimmy Barr off the track. He's back on it. And there is right side damage to the number 6 machine. Eliminated from the playoffs last week. Checking to see if we have anything, but we don't. It disappeared from our eyes. Back up front to this battle for the lead between Preslar and Susie. Single file at the moment. I think right now Susie just trying to plan his move out and try and pressure Preslar into making a mistake.
Yeah, poor Jimmy, to give an update on what happened to him with that right side damage. He was looking to spot his entry into 1, just tapped the wall, and that's where that came from.
There's the run to the inside. Susie pulls up to the corner panel, and Preslar just lets him have it. First lead change of the day as Josh Susie goes to the point. But Landon Lacey's starting to close in the 66. Quickest car on the track at a 29.8, and that's even as well with the draft.
Yeah, that's a nice old school move from Brian. I'm real impressed with that. It's not really something you see much anymore, letting people go, but he did it. And, earned a few respect points for me there. I already had a ton, and just got a few more.
Landon Lacey, though, closing in the 66 as you ride on board from Preslar's perspective. Again, his 4th pole of the season as Lacey pulls up to the inside. Almost caught the grass there in that same spot where Dale Jr. caught the splitter, and his car pretty much caught on fire all around. Meanwhile, Preslar also lets Isley go as the 17, looking for 3rd position here.
Yeah, Brian appears to be an old soul. Maybe I just don't pay attention enough, but I don't remember him kind of letting people go in the fashion that he is. But I like the style. I mean, it's in the round of 8 here, so it's definitely working for him. And even with him letting people go, he's still P4. He's got great track position. So
looks like he's got a really tight car on the exit. He's got his teammate Josh Aaron behind him, who picked up 5 spots after starting in 10th. Landon Lacey, though, the biggest mover from the start, as he went from 8th to 2nd spot.
yeah, it looks like to me he might not have his splitter. I guess we're still calling it that. He's not really having a splitter slow as it kind of needs to be, because it's good through entry and center, but the later and later he gets on exit, the more he has to wait, the tighter it's getting. So
looking at a couple of other.
Could be wrong on that.
Yeah, looking at a couple of other battles on your screen as Para goes off track in turn 2. Kayla McCarthy looking on the inside of David Smeal, takes away the 16th position. We just had another change, though, in the battle for 5th. Josh Aaron loses a spot. Dylan Clark picked up his 2nd win last week at the Charlotte Roval. In fact, all of his wins have come on road courses. That is also in addition to Road America.
He's a ringer, man. He knows how to get it done on those left and right hand corners.
Battle for the lead, though, is on. Landon Lacey pulling up to the door of Josh Susi. Lacey lets him go. Let's see if the crossover perhaps comes in effect from the driver of the 66. Again, both drivers looking for their 8th win of the season. Lacey's got the run inside, and Susi lets him have it, as Landon has laced his shoes up for Texas, that's for sure. A whole lot bigger than usual. 2nd lead change of the day, Lacey out in front. Trouble, Mark Sikosi has gone off the track of the 91, and he is fading back big time. He was off track for just over a second. Take a look at the replay and see what happened to playoff driver Sikosi, as he lost it off at turn 4. Pulls a Dale Earnhardt, goes through the grass. Saves it, though.
Yeah, that was a terrific save. Very precarious position there. Don't really know exactly what happened to him in terms of dynamics of the car, what could be going on, but it was just a very late exit spin. And I'd say he got away pretty lucky on that one.
More trouble. Tom Para has also gone off track. And probably a similar situation where he got loose. You'll see this right here on your screen, where he was just trying to let Jimmy Barr go by. He actually caught some air for a couple of seconds. Here's the battle for 5th once again. Dylan Clark on the outside, gets by Josh Aaron. Aaron comes up. Here comes Milliken down to the bottom. Got to be very careful here at Texas Motor Speedway. Things come at you here instantly, faster than it normally seems around this track. I think a lot of it comes thanks to the exit velocity when you're going out of the corners. They're doing a top speed, though, entering at around 190 miles an hour.
Yeah, a lot of people like to say that this track is easy based off of 3 and 4, with it being so banked there and so fresh. But bumps here, 1 and 2, it's really difficult. That's why it's one of my favorite racetracks. It really makes you work for it.
Ryan Chapman, Tom Para have brought their cars into pit road. Not sure what the big issue is on their cars as you continue to watch the best battle on track for 6th position. Can you see on the top of your screen all the drivers that are in yellow? That means they are a playoff driver. Look at Aaron, though. He's going to go way up top. And there's the crossover attempt down low, but Milliken's got the draft here, Ashton.
Yeah, that crossover, 1 and 2 running real high and just kind of buying your time getting a run off. That seems to be what you kind of want to do. Josh worked to perfection there. It's also how Landon got the lead. So we'll have to see longer this race goes on if guys are able to block that move. Actually trying it again on nobody. He's just trying to get a run here. See if people find how to block that move and put the guy on the outside in a vulnerable position.
David Salter just made a pass on Alan Crowell for 11th and looking to close in on Mark Sikosi. Ever since Sikosi got into the grass, he's just been losing a lot of momentum. And oh man, he's way loose once again. Almost gets turned by Salter. Makes another good save, but he's about to lose 2 spots because of it.
Yeah, he needs the kitchen sink right now to get that thing under control. It's not a loose, it's a snap. You can fight through a loose. Snap comes your way though. You just kind of along for the ride.
He's lost. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, at this point he should just be pretty happy that it hasn't been too much worse for him.
He's about to lose another one to Steve Strittmatter. Big trouble for Sikosi early on here in this race. Let's go to the battle for 3rd position. Dylan Clark. This is for 4th. Dylan Clark over Brian Preslar. A 4-car jam session here at the moment, but all the drivers just following each other at the moment. And just when they get that big slipstream, they go for that slingshot down to the inside.
Yeah, this is a track you really got to plan your moves ahead. Race is a lot like a road course with 1 and 2. You can't just barrel it down into a corner and go, all right, that's it. You really got to plan 3 or 4, 5 laps ahead, and that's what you're seeing out of these guys.
Reports that David Salter went off track in the number 88 machine. As you take a look here off of turn 4, he grabbed the wall and went to the grass, deja vu to what Mark Sikosi did. For those wondering, as we go back, battle for 6th on track. Different grooves here the drivers are taking. We talked about this earlier, Ashton. There's a lot of unique grooves that drivers can do. That's what makes Texas a lot of fun without the PJ1 on the track.
Yeah, it's a lot more multi-groove nowadays than it was at the very start, obviously. Guys can move off the bottom without slip sliding out.
And in Lacey's time, by the way, real quick, just went down. He went off track with a close call in the 66 machine. Right on board with them and show you what happened and what was a very, very close call. Lost it off of turn 4 as the leader. You know, we didn't expect that really to be a big issue, but I think Lacey, remember, was caught in that similar situation back in qualifying where a car got loose off of turn 4 and he tried to overcorrect it.
Yeah, Landon is a very fast driver, but one of the weaknesses that I've always seen out of him, my time racing against him, is he pushes very hard in the beginning and his tires get so hot later that it becomes pretty hard for him to just keep control of it and keep it under him. And I feel like that might be what you're seeing here. Once again, might be wrong because I'm not in the car, so I don't know 100%. But that's what the signs would be for me.
So Landon Lacey currently leads at the moment over Josh Susi, Tyler Isley, Dylan Clark, and Brian Preslar. We'll step aside as we take you side by side. If trouble breaks out, we will break in. So stay with us here at Texas Motor Speedway. welcome you back to live coverage here of the National Sim Racing League at Texas Motor Speedway. Looking at your 5th place driver, Kyle Milliken, at the moment. We've been seeing some really good racing at the moment, Ashton Crowder, especially from the drivers in 3rd through 7th, really battling at the moment.
Yeah, we have. I mean, it has been an absolute dogfight this entire time here. But even with that going on, the battle for the lead, even though they're not passing each other, well, they actually did. Susie just got past Lacey.
Yep,
see how that one happened.
Josh Susie goes to the point. We'll take a look here and show you what went down in the change for the lead.
Yeah, middle of the corner, Lacey was just snapping out of control.
Both of them got loose.
Yeah, well, when somebody in front of you gets loose like that, I suppose the air just gets extremely turbulent. So you're basically, it's like on an airplane when you get turbulence, it's the same thing, everything rattles around. So that happens, and then Lacey almost spins it, but he keeps it, yeah, Lacey and Susie almost spin it, but Susie almost spins it, gets by, and then just rocks and rolls.
That car was just about getting ready to slip. Was just getting ready to snap, a lot like what happened to Lacey back at Bristol Motor Speedway when he was dominating this race. Remember that.
Yeah, Lacey, I don't know if he sets his own cars up, who does what kind of help he's got, I really do not know, but whoever's setting those cars up, they are what we call on edge, always trying to wreck. Does a great job keeping them under him. But my semi-professional opinion at this point, I just do not know if that's the way you want to go.
Went all the way up to the top shelf where Mama hides the cookies. That's very risky. You don't see that a lot at Texas. And he closed in a lot there to Josh Susie. Doesn't make the run to the inside.
He's just trying things now. Knows it's kind of working in 1 and 2. The 3 and 4, though, that's one of those deals where you're just kind of testing the water, seeing what's going on. I don't really think he cares too much if he wins the stage or not. It doesn't really help him or hurt him if he wins or loses the stage. It's all the end game. But that's the stuff he can use for later, and that's why he's doing it.
Landon Lacey, by the way, operating out of the Martin Sports Pack. This could get interesting. Drivers are coming up to lap traffic. That is Jimmy Barr and I believe as well David Smeal. That is. This could get interesting as they're side by side. Let's see what happens. 3 wide entering turn number 3. Think Susie trying to use Smeal as a pick, but it's getting tight. Susie. But Lacey's got her on the outside. Jimmy Barr right in front of them. And the 66 goes back to the point. This is getting good.
It is. That's one of those moments in real life. If that happened to you, you'd be trying to find him in his RV after the race. But did a really good job keeping themselves out of trouble there.
Wow! I thought Barr was about to lose it on the straightaway.
Yeah, I think they're more sketched out than anything here. That's why they're not passing it. It's a bit odd.
10 laps to go, by the way, in this stage as they are drag racing into turn number 1. As Lacey slows off, his Barr goes to the outside, and so the battle for the lead still continues. Lacey almost got the top spot. It's still Josh Susie as Lacey tries to pull out a line.
Yeah, I'm sure Susie's really thankful that Landon gave him the room that he did there and let them kind of sort it all out and get back to racing. It's what you really want out of your competitors, and it shows a lot of respect from Landon there for him.
4th place battle on the line. Kyle Milliken, Tyler Isley. Back up to the front, though. Best battle on track at the moment. From the rear end of Josh Susie. Again, Lacey goes to the outside. A very rare move we've seen drivers see, but watch how much he closes in thanks to the 24 degrees of banking. That time, though, he didn't close in by a lot, Ashton.
No, he didn't have a really good entry into 3. That's where he lost a lot of his time. He almost got underneath him there in 1. Very surprised by that. We'll see how much he tries to charge the outside line here. Doesn't at all. Goodness gracious. Always when you're looking for it, it doesn't happen. Both these cars really get the outside working. You got to charge hard on entry, and didn't do that there.
I almost thought Lacey made a pass in the grass there for just a moment. Big trouble. Jimmy Barr comes into pit road as his car's really loose. He'll take a tow, and that may be the race for him. Don't forget the stage ends at lap 45. When we hit lap 44, the pits are closed. Here's Susie down to the bottom. He's got the lead back. Last intermediate race we were at, Ashton, we saw an incredible battle between, just confirming here on my notes, just making sure everything is correct, an incredible battle between Landon Lacey and Tyler Isley, and we're seeing something a lot similar. This time replace Isley with Susie.
Just shows how versatily talented this field is. Give somebody a good car, any of them can get it done, and it's really what you want out of this.
5 laps to go in stage 1.
Susie's really gonna have to work on this high line. I think he's kind of gave it to him there a little bit. Yeah, we'll see what he can do in 3 and 4. But yeah, at this point though.
Oh, yellow flag. David Smeal has crashed it in turn 2. And that brings out the first yellow of the evening, and Smeal's car is junk. And that likely will be the stage. We are checking here with race control as you listen to the radios.
More like an arm brake, good God.
Well, let's take a look at the replay from David Smeal and show you what happened. This looked to be all by himself. Remember, he was a lap down.
That stage break?
Yep, snapped. Oh man, head-on shot.
That will be the end of stage 1.
So that's a confirmation. Stage 1 is done. So Landon Lacey will be picking up stage 1 as he was ahead of the vote of caution as he right on board with Smeal. This current gen of cars here, I love to say next gen, but that's not the proper term. This generation of the cars, it seems like it's a whole lot easier to overcorrect than the Gen 6 was.
Yeah, it definitely is. You get a moment to where it gives you a lot of pushback, so kind of the side force type effect that we saw in the Gen 6 era and into the Gen 5. It does give you a little bit of a pushback initially, so it gives you a good chance to save it and keep it going. But that moment is very hard to realize. And then after that, you're kind of just along for the ride. So you can either get lucky like Lacey did and kind of lift all the way out of it and kind of float your way up to the outside wall and just hope that it doesn't come up on you too fast, or it's going to bite and you're going to have what happened to Austin Dillon, I think in the Charlotte test, where it goes down into 1 and 2, gets loose, starts to correct it, it bites, and you go straight to an outside wall.
So stage 1 is, yeah.
What's so great about double
Yeah, it's very, very, very hard to predict.
So stage 1 is done. Landon Lacey takes the stage as he wins the race off of pit road. Josh Susie overshot his pit box, but he restarts in the 2nd position. We're coming right back. Stay with us.
With the Butt Kicker Gamer 2, what you see and what you hear is what you feel. Butt Kicker. The future is feeling.
And we're back as we're ready to go back to the green flag and a developing story. Landon Lacey is back into pit road. I would assume this would be just to top off on fuel, or this is a penalty for going through too many pit boxes. We'll have
for his sake, we'll just say it's to top off, or he might be doing what I usually do and eating food. But we'll just have to see.
25 seconds stop, so it wasn't your potty break like you normally do. So that's what we'll call it here. So anyway, ready to get back to the green flag. We're in stage number 2 after our first yellow of the race. Josh Susi and Kyle Milliken, that's your front row. Tyler Isley, Brian Preslar in row number 2. Row 3, Justin Dilch, Ryan Broderick. Row 4, Stan Mayberry, Alan Crowell, Mark Sikosi, Dylan Clark round out the top 10. They come into the Speed Demon restarts. Speed Demon restart zone for first time today. And it's Josh Susi with the control. He selects the outside for the restart. Catches Kyle Milliken sleeping big time. It's like he hit the snooze button on his alarm clock.
Yeah, no, that's probably going to be the best restart we see all day. That was really good from Susi. You know, a lot of the time, it's giving out a little bit of my secrets, but a lot of the time, if you just count down from 5, and you go like 4, 4.5, nobody does that, and you get an easy half a second there in most cases.
Tyler Isley trying to get a run on Kyle Milliken, highest non-playoff driver at the moment. So they're side by side. Here comes Ryan Broderick in the 5, who's been quiet in this race. He's normally been running in the middle of the pack, and he is up to 5th.
Yeah, I was going to say, here comes Larson. No, it's Ryan Broderick. He had a quiet first stage, he really did. And now he's coming back and fighting.
Stan Mayberry, a big bobble. He touched the apron in turn 3. Almost, that car was about to go around. That car was just about to be done for the day. Nice save, though. But he's losing. He's got a lot of big pressure. Josh Aaron inside. Gotta give credit to Mayberry. Up from 19th to 7th. Nice start for him in this race.
He's doing a well of a job. And he ran the outside there in 1 and 2.
Yeah, Josh Aaron was looking down low. Same with Dylan Clark. But Mayberry cut the air off. Maintains his position, but here comes that 34 down low.
Really just hoping that 2 guys behind him stay side by side and he can have a little bit of an easier time pulling his tires back down from that slide and hopefully pull away from him. Definitely a lot easier said than done, though.
Dylan Clark takes the position away for now. Aaron fighting back. He had the draft thanks to the 99 of Mayberry. Oh, Salter, hang on. Going through the grass of Texas Motor Speedway and saves it. I was going to say Eddie Gossage's grass, but Eddie Gossage is not here. And, I mean, who cares about what Eddie thinks? He doesn't own this place anymore. No offense.
That's very true. Go home.
Absolutely. Here's a run inside. And Mayberry got sideways once again, battling Justin Diltz in the 19. And Mayberry hangs on to 6th position. Let's go up front, though. Broderick inside on the 67 of Preslar. And Broderick is up to 4th from 11th.
Broderick has some speed in that car, too. He's having to work somebody here, and he's still only a 10th off from the leader, being Joshua Susi, so he's definitely going to be one to watch out for.
Great racing all throughout the field as you watch this smorgasbord. Dylan Clark, Stan Mayberry, along with Josh Aaron, Justin Diltz, and Briggs Swope. This stage, by the way, ends at lap number 90.
Oh, 19.
Diltz up in the wall. Apologies as we missed that. Playoff driver, the second playoff driver to have issues today, being Justin Diltz, who scraped the wall. And we'll try and find a replay here for you to show you what happened. As bringing that into pit road.
And he just got loose, middle of 1 and 2, and just kept snapping on him over and over again. And once it starts going, you really can't stop it, and ended up tank slapping the outside wall, which is really a heartbreaker for him because he was doing quite well there.
We were just about half a lap behind when that happened. We were a lap behind what happened. There we go. This should give us a good idea of what happened. This happened instantaneously. Way tight. Still no wall hit there. I'm gonna fast forward here. This is something I don't like to do, but we're gonna have to do this though.
Sacrifices got to be made.
Let's see here. Yep, he lost it. Nice save though. Gotta give credit to Dilts. That's normally a place where cars go around big time, but he made a great save. And if it's not for that wall, Dilts is turning that baby sideways.
Yeah, if that was any corner but 1 and 2, he's probably going to spin that thing down to the inside and just kind of ride the apron. Because you'd have enough banking from the track to kind of just put you there and put you on a rail, so to speak, like a slot car almost. But the banking in 1-2 isn't really that high, so that was not an option. And that was the next best for him, and probably worked out a lot better than it could have.
Broderick takes away the 4th position, and look at this, doing a little bit of blocking on Brian Preslar. This is getting good. Meanwhile, update you on the battle for the lead. Kyle Milliken's actually been closing in on Josh Susie. Let's take a look at the last 5 laps. That's Susie's lap times right there, but compare it to Kyle Milliken's, that's nearly identical. Susie's, though, just been faster in 3 of the last 5, but Milliken's doing a good job hanging in there.
And as great as this car is with the dirty air and cleaning that up for the guys behind, you still have to play that game and understand where the very inside of your left front is and how to get it out of the wake of the guy in front of you. And he did it right there, but laps prior, he was kind of entering higher than Susie, so he's really just taking every bit of clean air that he could have away from him and sacrificing it for a wider entry and straighter exit, and it hasn't seemed to be helping him too much, so he definitely could be going faster than he already is.
Look at the revs on Kyle Milliken entering turn 1. This is crazy. Look at this. Over 9,000 as he's going across the start-finish line. That's incredible. Let's go back to the Broderick Preslar show for P7 on track. Broderick has lost a lot of ground, though. Let's take a look what happened. Something tells me that he perhaps got into the wall. Let's watch the driver of the 5, or did he just lose spots because of he was stuck up on the high groove?
Well, instead of racing his own race and just kind of settling in, I think he got a bit too focused on battling Preslar there and really cost him a lot of time.
Look at Robbie Bice. Through the grass he goes. I swear we need a grass count. We have a chili bowl count, but we need a grass count.
Chili bowl flip count.
Kyle Milliken still in that battle for the lead with Josh Susie at the moment. Let's go back to P6. Landon Lacey, after deciding to come in after pitting under the yellow twice, has made his way up to 7th, and he continues to dirt track it in turn 2, trying to get by Preslar and Mayberry.
He actually, on lap 59, he drilled the wall out of turn number 4 trying to pass Dylan Clark on the outside, so that's going to be a big hindrance for him the rest of the time.
Yeah, you see it on your screen there, the right side paint scuffs. Thanks to that blue wall at Texas Motor Speedway, costing him a ton of time at the moment. Let's go back mid-pack as we look inside the top 10. Yet to talk about Kayla McCarthy in this race, who unfortunately missed the round of 8. Currently in 9th position, battling with DraftKings drivers Josh Aaron and Briggs Swope.
Yeah, Kayla is always in the mix. Not always in the mix to lead, but get a solid point stay. It's always there, where the real life driver comes out in her. I know she's got a background in a lot of different areas, sports, racing included. I think she also did some women's football at some point, and like the real football, not the lingerie kind. So this girl's tough, and we know that. She's doing a great job right now, being in the top 10.
Who hired you to come on the broadcast?
I don't know. We won't name names. You can name it though. I won't.
Yeah, I can name it. I'll just say that.
Okay.
That's the name, by the way, in case y'all are wondering.
Well, yeah, good for you.
Yeah. Broderick, though, continuing to fade back big time. I think perhaps he's used up his tires. I think what we've learned is he's doing really good on the short run, but when we get it into a long run or some sort of things, that's when he's, fading back. Because he's about to go outside the top 10 as Briggswell makes this fast run.
Well, yeah, this is one of those racetracks where it's really fast to be really loose at the start. But as the race goes on, run goes on, the guys who are tighter but can still rotate are going to be the ones that prevail just off of the banking transition out of turn 2 and into 3 as well. So
Josh Susi leads Kyle Milliken, Tyler Isley, Dylan Clark, Stan Mayberry as we go to break once again, as we go side by side. You're not going to miss a thing. Going to keep on NSRL lane. We're back here at Texas Motor Speedway, 20 laps to go in stage number 2 as you take a look at Steve Stripmatter currently running in the 12th position. Josh Susi has increased his lead though over Kyle Milliken up to 1.5 seconds. Milliken, I believe, got loose earlier while we were away and you missed it. However, though, Susi with a great long run car, and that's what he's normally known for too.
yeah, he is. He and Lacey are usually the class of the field when it comes to having long run. We saw that on the first run, seeing it here. It's around the 7. a lot of other people are in the 7s actually. Well, not a lot of other. Isley and Clark. So they're going to be ones to watch out for on this next run.
Oh, trouble, Josh
tail
Aaron
around.
into Kayla McCarthy. Can she save it? Under caution for the second time today. And not a lot of damage to the driver of the 24. As in her hometown, she goes around, but a nice save, but a good move by Chris Lynn to bring the yellow out.
Yeah, don't mess with Texas. She's going to be livid about that one. I would be too. One of those deals, wasn't anybody doing anything, out of control. I think the 77, Josh Aaron, was just a little bit out of control and had to chase it up a little bit. Well, not really out of control, but he was chasing up the track. That was the line he was attempting to run. Kayla was kind of coming down. And, yeah, just
simply pretty much, I guess.
one of those racing deals.
Yeah, you could call that hard to race for sure. Look at Briggs Swope just thread the needle there and miss that. It's right on board with break here. Look at that perfect hole. Let's go to Kayla McCarthy. Now under caution, we're hearing that Kyle Milliken has crashed under the yellow. Let's take a look and see what happened to the 42. We got drivers checking up, drivers getting loose. Oh my goodness. Dylan Clark lost it under caution. And it's like Kyle Milliken had controller issues. Briggs Swope gets damaged.
Oh my
wow. That is strange. Okay, I tell you what we're going to do here first. Real quick. Everyone's on pit road. Then we'll get to the visor cam shot of Kyle Milliken. Milliken's in a tow situation, and because of this, he is currently trapped a lap down. Free pass, by the way, will go to Robbie Bice as the race off pit road. Just won by Josh Susi over Tyler Isley, then Dylan Clark, Brian Preslar, and Mark Sikosi coming out in 5th. Nice rebound for Sikosi. All right, let's go back to what we promised you. Here's the visor cam from Kyle Milliken. Car was steering. He was on the brakes. Gear shift was working. It's like he had no throttle. That's happened to him a lot this season, I believe, though. So that's just a weird thing that just happened. So
yeah, we've seen a lot of that over the times on iRacing. Weird little controller things like that. I remember it was the iRacing Daytona 500. It must have been like 2010 or so. But the guy I think he was leading the race. Then 10 laps to go, and his wheel turned off, and he went to the inside wall, clocked it. They brought him in for an interview, and he was laughing. I would have been crying. But yeah, sadly, it's just kind of how it goes sometimes in internet racing. Something you can't really control.
we get set to go back under the green flag. And while we're at it, as we're still pacing, I'd like to say a big hello to 2 viewers out there. Number 1, Camden Jester, who is rooting for Tyler Isley. And number 2, America's Race Controller. That is Chris Lynn, who is right at Landon Lake Dirt Tracks, and that Tom Para is his spirit animal. Reports from the garage that BP is set for the long haul. That Preslar is an animal that brings a lot of speed and racecraft. Landon Lacey's favorite track is Williams Grove. David Smeal forgot to put talent in it, according to Jimmy Barr. I don't know. Chris Lynn's a legend.
Every time you go out on track, you definitely gotta top off with talent. Something I haven't heard in a long time. It is funny.
Anyway, second caution of the evening here at Texas Motor Speedway. Give this opportunity to tell you that next week we are at Kansas Speedway for the Kansas 300. Same length, 200 laps. And you'll watch it right here on the National Sim Racing League Facebook page, as well as twitch.tv/Marty Sakala.
Can you believe the season's almost over?
I can't believe it, but I feel like it's been long awaited, that's for sure.
Long races.
No, it's not the long races. I mean, I think the big thing is just, we're going Athens for 36 straight weeks, so. Personally, if it were me, I would love to see a couple of off weeks, but who knows? So
Would be nice.
absolutely.
Would be. Bi-weekly would be great.
So set to go back to green. It's Josh Susi, Tyler Isley, row 1. Dylan Clark, Brian Preslar, row 2. Mark Sikosi, Stan Mayberry, row 3. Don DeGroot, Ryan Broderick, row 4. Steve Stripmatter, David Salter round out the top 10. Mayberry, the highest of the non-playoff drivers, in 5th. We're back to green. Dylan Clark goes with Josh Susi. Remember, their teammates, as Isley's caught sleeping and falls back to 3rd. Now looking to run for Mayberry on the outside. Decides to pull out of line. Goes the slower way around. Let's see if that can help him out. Set up turn 3, though, Ashton.
Yeah, Stan just kind of settling in a little bit, but now he's got a huge run through 3 and 4. I was not expecting that.
Place battle on
and
the line.
Side drafting a little bit where the game started coming into play. Isley's going to be like, man, you ever do that again, I'll wreck you. That's typically how that goes.
Isley looked like he got loose off of turn 2. Opens the door for Brian Preslar. Behind them, Mark Sikosi. Ryan Broderick drained some shots. Much better stage 2 for Sikosi than what happened in stage 1 when he got really loose in turn 4 at one point and lost a ton of spots.
You got to remember, too, the more and more cautions we have, the better the handling's going to get dialed in for these guys. Some of them, I mean, they started out completely out to lunch, and with pit stops, you can definitely bring yourself back into the mix.
Battle for the lead, coming to 10 laps to go in stage 2 between Susi and Clark. Bad 3 and 4 for Dylan Clark. Yeah, Steve Stripmatter having some issues on the track. He goes through the grass and keeps her straight as turn 4 continues to be Calamity Corner. Best battle on track is here for 8th between McCarthy and Salter. McCarthy again trying to rebound after the last yellow, which she almost spun out, put it on the wall, but made a nice save.
Yeah, she's fighting back. I think she's in a better position now than she
Salter,
was.
loose, saves it in the grass, catches some air, and falls out of the stage points.
Cone went flying back there, though. That was kind of neat to see.
You said a cone went flying?
Yeah, it did.
Rest in peace, orange cone.
Yeah, I don't know if you saw that on your side, but I saw it on mine.
Yes, I did.
Stan's about to spin.
Stan's about to
He
spin.
saves it.
Stan Mayberry in 3rd position and opens the door for Preslar around the outside to try and get on the bottom step of the podium. 8 laps to go on the stage.
It seems like that whole full throttle team is just very, very loose. They're really fast on the restarts. Probably get that right rear up to temp a little bit faster. But as soon as handling starts coming into play, they're pretty out to lunch on that end.
Preslar wants that podium, trying to side draft. Better exit for Preslar, excuse me, for Mayberry, as he was able to hold his line. 7 to go in the stage.
Yeah, Mayberry's going to be feeling real good now. He's got draft in front, and he's got a push behind with the bubble. So if he can just put some good laps together here, he'll
Back up front for the
probably be
lead.
able to pull away.
Half a car length separating the top two, Susie and Clark. Already the low line. I think right now at this point on, if I am Dylan Clark, I mean, it's not worth to give Josh Susie as many stage points as possible as Tyler Isley gets loose off of turn number 2. Something to keep in mind here, by the way. From now on to the rest of the season, no more playoff points are being awarded, because when we get to Phoenix for the championship race, the points are tied entering the championship 4.
Well, huge development. Dylan Clark was let by Susie down that back straightaway. It's not,
Yes, you're correct.
yeah, it's
just
not
missed
really
it.
what we like to see, but it happens. Now the order's flipped.
Bad luck on my part. I think Susie just pretty much let Clark go by, and he did.
Yeah, Susie's, I guess he's just trying to play defense now, which is a bit of a shame, to be honest. I want to see these guys race it out, but now it appears to me that he's kind of just running the pace that he needs to run and keep staying behind him.
8th place battle on the line. Caleb McCarthy marks Sikosi, and McCarthy holds on to it. 3 to go in the stage. Top 4 all under a blanket at the moment. Pits are closed this time by. Final driver in the points at the moment is Josh Aaron, has a 0.6 of a second lead on Don DeGroot. Ryan Broderick, Caleb McCarthy, Mark Sikosi, a fun one brewing for 7th. McCarthy lets off. Broderick sent it in big time, and here's the run. Nice move from Kayla. The door is open.
I love seeing these different lines being run. It's really impressive.
Final lap underway in stage number 2, and it's a good chance Dylan Clark's going to get it. Let's go back to 8th. Sikosi has it over Broderick. Stage 2 final lap. KTS drivers are 1 and 2, followed by Stan Mayberry, and then Brian Preslar, Tyler Isley, the top 5.
Yeah, the defense worked to perfection there. Dylan's going to get that stage win.
Clark gets the stage win. Yellow flag is out. It is Clark, Susie, Mayberry, Preslar, Isley, Lacey, McCarthy, Sikosi, Broderick, and Aaron. The top 10 after all of that. So Dylan Clark wins stage number 2. We'll step aside. Pit stop's coming up shortly. Stay with us. Pit road is open, and we'll check and see if everyone comes in. Remember, all drivers, 6 tire sets. Could see some varying strategy here, because we had the pit stops happen on lap 74 after the yellow that involved Kayla McCarthy. See if we have any stay out, and we do. Ryan Broderick gets to lead a lap here at the Texas Motor Speedway. Wow. I think he's the only one to stay out and play that strategy, so we'll have an extra tire set. Now we can see if he possibly banks on a yellow to fly and use that extra tire set if we have a late race restart.
Yeah, it's one thing I think we kind of forget about is lack of tire sets. If they start getting a lot of yellows, you can run out of them in a hurry.
So it's Susie, Mayberry, Clark, Isley, Lacey, the top 5. Dylan Clark overshot his pit box and lost 2 positions because of that. See if Ryan Broderick stays out here or if he decides to come in this time. We'll find out in just a moment. We'll pause here and step aside. Stay with us here at Texas.
With the Butt Kicker Gamer 2, what you see and what you hear is what you feel. Butt Kicker. The future is feeling.
So Ryan Broderick, as we are back, the other side of the break when we came in, he was the race leader. Stopped on pit road. So just so he could lead a lap, as we have 1 lap until we take the green flag, as we are 6 laps away from approaching the halfway mark here at Texas Motor Speedway. Again, Mari Scala alongside Ashton Crowder. We're so glad you could join us this evening. Been a fun one here so far, Ashton. A lot of competitive racing, a lot of passing happening here at Texas Motor Speedway. It's great to see with the next-gen cars.
It really is. I mean, these guys always put on a really good show at ovals, road courses. It's hit and miss sometimes, I feel like, depending on who you got in there. But I digress. It's been a great night of action up to almost the halfway point, and I'm really excited to see the rest of it with you, Marty. I think it's going to be a good show.
So as we come back to green, Josh Susie, Stan Mayberry, the front row, Dylan Clark, Tyler Isley. Row number 2. Row 3 is Landon Lacey and Brian Preslar. Row 4, Kayla McCarthy, Mark Sikosi. And row 5, Josh Aaron and Don DeGroot. As we come back to the green flag, we want you to turn up your volume because it's time to crank it up here live at Texas Motor Speedway. 97 laps complete at Texas Motor Speedway. Your leader still is Josh Susie, Dylan Clark, Tyler Isley, Stan Mayberry, Landon Lacey, the top 5, as the crowd is pretty much all fanned out. Closest battle is right here. Kayla and Preslar going at it for 6th position, Ashton.
Yeah, Kayla's just working her way up one by one. I mean, she's had that little incident, 3 and 4, didn't really do much to her. Now she's just scratching and clawing, finding her way back. But besides that deal in 3 and 4, she's had a really quiet night, and most of the time those are the best ones.
Stan Mayberry in the 99 looking for 3rd position. He's been the biggest mover of the night so far, from 19th up to 4th position, and just posted his best lap of the day with a 29.87. He's gotten loose on occasions, but it's been a really decent night for the 99. He gets loose again there. Oh man, same with Lacey.
Yeah, it's that turbulent air and somebody gets loose in front of you. It can bite you. It's really hard to predict that.
Mid-pack, Don DeGroot looking on Steve Strickmatter for top 10 spot. DeGroot, the lone Canadian in the field, working on Alan Crowell off the pace off of turn number 2.
I don't think we've talked about Alan all night until that point.
Very quiet. In fact, right now he's currently the 2nd lowest of all the playoff drivers, to be 3rd lowest. Josh Keeper, he's in the 15th, and Justin Dill's currently in the 19th position. Back up front though, top 3 battling for the lead. All the playoff drivers, Susie, Clark, and Isley.
Always seems to come down to playoff drivers, doesn't it? It's always a Phoenix Championship 4, the top 4 playoff drivers, and you go, what do they have and nobody else does? And it's the talent in most cases.
Oh man, Isley almost got the quarter panel of Dylan Clark as Isley's loose off a 2. Mayberry takes advantage up to 3rd. He's got the fastest lap of the day now with a 29.71 that last time by. Almost was able to go for 2nd on Dylan Clark, but wants to wait on it.
Yeah, I feel like Tyler is trying a little bit too hard there to pass Clark. You know, this is probably going to be a long run with how everything's been playing out tonight. So this is the time where when you got fresh tires and the draft is keeping you together and you're doing everything, you just want to take it easy and ride around. But he was definitely keen on pushing.
Mayberry tried to look to the inside for the runner-up spot on Dylan Clark. Closes the gap down to about a half a car length. Here's the run for Mayberry in that Charger. Ryan Broderick, by the way, has brought his number 5 in the pits. He got loose off of turn 4 is what it was, but not what it wants. Goes from bad to worse for Broderick at the moment. See Dylan Clark working together. Remember, those guys are teammates out of the KTS organization. Then you've got Stan Mayberry in 3rd all by himself. Tyler Isley without a teammate. And then Landon Lacey is right now, from what we know, we believe he's by himself. Isley thought about looking inside, though, for 3rd. Puts him back in line.
Yeah, I know in our Discord server, Dylan likes to talk a lot of trash. Likes to try to get at people a little bit, and that's his right. I think you need that a lot of the time, and looking to back it up here.
Apparently, I've learned since the week I was gone that this Discord has been renovated. Apparently, we have now a fight channel.
We do. Yeah, we do.
Lacey really tight at 3 and 4, by the way.
He was. It was really nice save from him. But yeah, I guess we got the fight channel. I don't really know. I'm just assuming here, but I'm guessing we got it because people started talking some trash in general, and it was kind of making everybody look bad. So now we have a fight channel that seems to be fairly active. I looked at it for the first time today, and I was like, oh man,
It is pretty active. Apparently, I've been pinged a bunch of times on there. Like, what the heck?
Well,
So, I don't know.
what are you gonna do? I haven't been. There's really no reason for me to be pinged in there. But if you have, then congrats on that. You get to fight. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, we've also divided the radio channels up by Race Control, Cup, Xfinity, and Trucks. So,
Just like in real life.
yep, absolutely. Battle for 6 is on. This is Brian Preslar and Kayla McCarthy. Right side damage to Kayla on the 24. Remember, she was a part of a yellow earlier in the race. She saved it in turns 3 and 4. Back to third, Isley and Mayberry going at it.
Again, Isley's gonna have to be really patient here. Gonna have to make sure not to make any too rash of decisions. It's really easy to this early into a run try to put yourself in a position that you probably shouldn't be in. Looks like Sam's gonna let him go here. Maybe. Nope, I lied.
Lacey's gonna work with Isley.
Gonna
No, he
side draft
doesn't.
him a little bit.
Now he does. Goes for the move in turn number 3. Thought for a moment Lacey was going to take it 3 wide. But thinks better of it. Isley up into the 3rd position, but he's lost some time. A second behind Dylan Clark as this is the battle for the race lead. The KTS drivers have pulled away from Isley, Lacey, and company.
Gonna say this is an important lap for Isley. He's got to run a really good lap time right here to get the momentum back his way and catch the front 2, but he got extremely loose off of turn number 2, and he's losing 3 and 4 as well. And now he's just slowing up the car behind him and landing Lacey.
You can see it barely there, the way that Isley was moving from the rear end and how Lacey from the picture was just changing inch by inch. Again, your best battle on the track for 3rd position. Nice pass by Lacey in the 66. He's been fast. He's led a bunch of laps in this race. Won stage 1, if I recall correctly. Decided to fall all the way to the back just to get a challenge from himself. Remember, Lacey is not a playoff contender. Despite having 7 wins, could not meet the minimum criteria for making the playoffs, which includes having to make at least 13 of the 26 starts. Here we go. 9th spot on the line. Josh Aaron, a lap car, working with Don DeGroot to get him ahead of Mark Sikosi. Not the night.
Let's go, Don.
Yeah, not the night that the 91 machine has been having after the night he had at the last oval race at Talladega.
Going back up here to Landon Lacey, though, in his pursuit of the lead here, doesn't have their draft, right? So it's going to be harder for him to catch them. But at this point, he's going to be trying to put together some qualifying laps and make it a little bit easier on himself. He's about mirroring their lap times, plus he has the right front damage. So if he didn't have that, you'd have to imagine he'd be quite a bit quicker right now.
Only thing you see here in the last 5 laps, though, Clark's been faster. In 2 of the 5 laps, he's been faster by at least a tenth. But part of that could have to do with the fact that he was side by side with Tyler Isley.
Yeah, that's definitely put a little bit of a hamper to his plans. But he's got clean air now, so he really doesn't have any excuse to not be going forward. But that right front damage is really going to be toying with him.
Robbie Bice brings the 28 in the pit road after he just went to the grass. Tom Pera also bringing his car back in the pits. So we've got 84 laps to go here at the Texas Motor Speedway as Josh Susi leads Dylan Clark, Landon Lacey, Tyler Isley, Stan Mayberry. We'll go side by side. We'll be back. Stay with us. back here at the Texas Motor Speedway, and yes, we've got a new leader. Dylan Clark has gone to the point over Josh Susie. Let's take a look at a replay action to show you how he got that pass done. Looks like Susie, did he scrape the wall? Can't tell from that angle. Let's watch from a wider picture. Yeah, Ashton, it looks like Susie just let Clark go.
It seems to be. Maybe ran it a little bit wide into one, felt he was going to lose, tracked it up, maybe. But considering a little switcheroo that they did earlier in the night, more than likely that. They were faster with Susie in front though, and now Landon's starting to catch it. Well, was until he almost wrecked there. Very loose.
Absolutely.
But yeah, that bit of an interesting call. Might be trying to get him some more laps led, maybe get some more points that way. But if I'm Susie, I'm wanting to stay in the lead. That's where I'm the most comfortable.
Briggswell brings the number 7. Excuse me. On to pit road. Speaking of pit stops, let's talk about this. Drivers pitted their last stop on lap 92, so it looks like we're looking at just one stop to the end. Or could this race possibly be a fuel mileage race? What are you thinking about if you're the crew chief?
This is one of those racetracks you can really get away with pushing it as long as possible because the fall off just isn't there. We look at the lap times. The best time for Dylan on this run was a 29.9, and they are at a 30.7 right now. So less than a second of fall off. So pitting later, I would say, would help you here. I've been bit by that before, where guys will pit as soon as possible and jump you. But I feel like in this situation, going as long as possible might just be the way to go.
See Mark Sikosi coming to pit road as well. He just exited for fresh tires with 75 laps to go. Let's go back and show you the pit strategy amongst the top 10. There you see the stints drivers have gone. Longest stint was 42. Obviously, we were at the stage end because of that. But I think, if I recall correctly, drivers can go about 60 to 65 laps, I would assume. So I think drivers should be good to go to the end when they get to their final stop of the race.
Now they definitely will be. And even then, if they were even a little bit close, they could definitely save some fuel too. So they've got a lot of options. But with how these guys are moving around right now, I would say they're definitely full tilt.
Now, speaking of the stops, if we look at this long term, if we do happen to get a late race yellow after pit stops, drivers do have one more set of tires. That'll be an interesting decision if they want to save that set if we get another late race yellow, or decide to go for it. As you see on your screen, a pass for 6th position. Caleb McCarthy gets by Stan Mayberry.
Well, if you're taking 4 tires, no doubt you're going to be taking taking fuel, full fuel. You're definitely going to be taking 4 tires. Be really cool to see if guys try to short fill. We won't know that, sadly. Not really privy to that information without us being on a box with one of these guys. But they could take lower fuel, get the car a little bit tighter, and then drop the rear down so they keep the same platform. That's going to be a lighter car, so it's going to be a faster car. I don't know if any of these guys are wanting to really push that limit, but interesting to see either way.
Okay, best battle on track right here for the lead. Dylan Clark, Josh Seuss, the 2 KTS drivers pretty much just working at the moment. Then you've got Landon Lacey back there in third, who is 1.6 seconds behind. Currently about 2/10 back. Losing about 2/10 per lap, I should say, on the top 2. And he also, by the way, too, that's a factor, does not have the draft. Here's the battle on track for 8th. Don DeGroot inside on Steve Strickmatter. Let's see if he can make the pass work. Can't just yet. Strip Matter holds on.
Both of them have had really quiet nights. Doing really solid out there inside the
Looks like the group, by the way, got loose off of turn 4, and that's how Strip Matter was able to hold on.
The leader's having a battle with the lap car right here, Mark Sikosi.
Yeah, remember Sikosi on fresh tires. Just pitted about 9 laps ago. First car, by the way, a lap down. If we do get a yellow flag to come out, that would be Josh Aaron, 77, who pitted on lap 123 about 10 laps ago. So, go ahead, by the way.
Yeah, it's always a tough situation to be in when you have a lap car with fresher tires kind of doing its thing, especially a track like this where the tires don't really matter that much, because they don't necessarily have an advantage over you. They do, but it's not enough for them to just rocket by you and do their thing. They're just kind of stuck there, mired in your way. So you're really on edge at that point. You get real frustrated real quick.
By the way, with a bump draft to Dylan Clark going down the Texas back straightaway as they almost lost it together. That got a little bit too close for comfort there. Talk about a couple of other drivers, by the way. Brian Preslar has probably had what I would perhaps call the most consistent night he has had all season long. You know, it's not often you've seen him inside the top 10 for the entire race, but right now so far he's really shown it 133 and a half laps in.
Yeah, this might be a really big overall night for him in terms of confidence level and stuff going forward, because a lot of the times for guys it just takes one night where they really do it to kind of show them like, hey, I can do this over and over again. I could definitely see that being the same thing for him. Kayla's making a charge on him, but like you said, it has been really consistent from him. I mean, he hasn't really stepped a foot wrong this whole time.
The group, by the way, you saw it on your screen by Strip Matter. So he takes away 8th position on the track. And now you're watching 5th between Preslar and McCarthy. See what Kayla 316 can do. Hint, hint, WrestleMania plug this weekend.
Man, thank you for saying that. I'm gonna have to watch that now. Probably on Peacock.
By the way, just want to announce while we're at it some news that's been announced. We've been anticipating this news tonight. Next season, Las Vegas will be hosting a Formula One night race. That's going to be a lot of fun. It will take place on a Saturday next November. Obviously, one of 3 races in the United States. Hasn't hosted an F1 race since 1982, but it will be the first time F1 cars are on the Las Vegas Strip. 14-turn track, 3.8 miles, top speeds around 212 miles an hour, 3 straights, high-speed cornering sequence, single chicane. Grand Prix should be over 50 laps. So it'll be a night race, which means for us, it'll be a late night on a does it say a Saturday night? Yeah, a Saturday night race. So that'll be a lot of fun to watch.
Thank you, Adam Stern.
Thank you, Adam Stern, and thank you, Stefano Domenicali. And a lot of it as well, you got to add, definitely has to do with the fact that, you know, F1's been starting to get a lot more popular in the U.S. with the Drive to Survive docuseries on Netflix. In fact, all the races this season have been like the most viewed ever since ESPN took over Formula One. Over 1 million views in the first 2 races for each of them.
Yeah, it's been a sight to behold for sure. I know even my roommates who have 0 interest in motorsports whatsoever, one of them is very interested in Formula One and getting into it. The other night I actually spent a good hour explaining to him everything about it because he wanted to know.
I've told a lot of friends of mine too about they say like I surprise you're in motorsports, you're a big motorsports guy. but I've been watching Formula One Drive to Survive, and it's incredible. So I see what you're talking about, and so like, when I love to talk racing, obviously, and like the first thing I'll talk about is Formula One. You've been watching the season so far, and I'm like, yeah. So like that's like barbershop talk these days now.
Yeah, it really is. I mean, it's just I don't even know what to say about it. It's really cool. It's kind of out of nowhere too, because I remember if you said Formula One to anybody, they'd be like, "What?" But nowadays, I mean, just everybody knows. Heck, even my walking buddy at Virginia Tech is aware of it now. I thought that was very, very interesting, and he only watches like one race a year.
Exactly.
So it's definitely looking up for them, and seems like the owners that they have are really good too. So real exciting.
170,000 people expected to come to Vegas. 400,000 room nights. So could be the flagship race of F1 in a few years. That'd be awesome. I can't wait for it. So anyway, enough talk about F1. Let's go to break while we are at it. Dylan Clark, Josh Susie, Tyler Isley, Landon Lacey, Caleb McCarthy, the top 5. Pit stops coming up shortly here. Under the green flag could be the money stop for these drivers. Stay with us. We are approaching the 50 laps to go mark here at Texas Motor Speedway. While we're at it, shout out to all of our sponsors: Butt Kicker, Affordable SEO and Marketing, Elevated Outdoors, and Speed Demon Setups, Graphics, and TV. While we're at it, let's give you this opportunity to give you a full field rundown. You'll see it on your screen with the ticker. Dylan Clark currently leads the Lonestar 335. Josh Susie runs in second. Tyler Isley is third. Caleb McCarthy is fourth. Brian Preslar fifth. Don DeGroot is running sixth. Steve Stripmatter is seventh. Alan Crowell is eighth. Josh Aaron is ninth. Stan Mayberry is in the top 10. Only 7 drivers on the lead lap. Again, green flag pit stops happening at the moment. Ashton, give us 11 through 23.
Oh man, I was not prepared. 11th, Mark Sikosi. 12th, David Salter. 13th, Landon Lacey. 14th, Robbie Bice. 15th, Tom Perry. He's on pit road. Same with Robbie Bice there. Ryan Broderick, 16th. Rick Swope, 17th. Kyle Milliken, he was having a really solid day early until everything happened. Really hate that for him. He's 18th. 19th, Justin Dills. 20th, David Smill Jr. Jimmy Barr, I think those 3 are all teammates. 21st. Then Ryan Chapman, the 3rd. And and 22nd. How'd I do?
You did good. Green flag pit
Thank you.
stops underway. You see Kayla McCarthy in the 24 machine. Should be awaiting the leaders to come in shortly. And final stops of the race for the drivers to make it to the end. Still have one set left. Here come the leaders. Dylan Clark, Josh Stussy in. This could be the money stop. Got to have no mistakes. You cannot be overshooting your box. Doesn't even matter if you're teammates at the moment. You got to have a perfect stop. Clark pulling away from Stussy just a little bit. So here we go. Made it in perfectly. Even on the rights. Dropping even. Left sides. Clark with a slight advantage. Drops it. Fires. Oh, big wheel spin. Stussy takes the lead provisionally at the moment. Clark just mashed the gas a little bit too much. Spun the tires. Josh Stussy, perfect stop for him from the entry to the exit. He's out in front in this race.
And Susie's average speed, well, not average speed, but, I guess average speed, it's a good way to put it. On the apron, it's about 3 miles per hour faster than Clark, too. So whatever that equates to distance, I don't know. But he had it. And now you see him with about a second advantage over Clark there.
Still waiting for the top 3 to come in. Tyler Isley, Don DeGroot, and Steve Strittmatter. They're banking on a yellow to come out at this point. Isley says, nope, I'm coming into pit road. Isley, though, gets to lead a lap at least. So big positive there. So he'll bring it into pit road. Pit road speed 45. Speed 50 miles an hour, I believe. And it is 50 miles an hour here at Texas Motor Speedway, so he brings that on in. Still waiting for the other 2 drivers to come in, Don DeGroot and Steve Strittmatter. Strittmatter now brings it into pit road, so just wait on DeGroot and we'll be good to go.
Even though Susie had that really good pit stop, pit exit sequence, still not over yet though. Dylan's running the same lap times he is. He still has a little bit of his draft, so he's going to be able to take it a lot easier than Susie is up front.
Much slower stop for Isley, by the way, over Susie and Carr. So go ahead, by the way.
Yeah, that's actually what I was about to mention. He's on the back foot heavy here, is Isley. Decided to go about 4 laps longer, and he is, let's see, about half a track behind, give or take. It's gonna be real hard for him to make up.
DeGroot now comes in for his final stop of the race. At least there's a positive on Isley's side of things, but it doesn't seem like it's going to work out big time being down 9 seconds, and that is the fact that he's got 3 laps of fresher tires.
Yeah, that'll be good for him for a little bit. I don't think it's going to be too big of an advantage here, sadly, for him. But, let's see, where's 5th at? Bit unprofessional, may
Kayla
not know.
McCarthy, who is 6 seconds behind on Tyler Isley.
Yeah, she's, actually, no, it's Stan Mayberry now. So however that one shaked out. So, yeah, he's going to have a bit of an advantage over Stan. It's going to make it a little bit easier for him. And, shouldn't really have to worry about that too much. And a yellow.
That's going to change everything. Tom Para has crashed it. And I believe our 3rd crash of the day. And so we'll take a look at the replay and see what happened to Para. Lost it by himself in turn 2 and head-on shot. Aaron comes in the path and has to bring out the yellow.
Yeah, that's going to be pretty disappointing for Susie and Clark there. They pretty much, with how that was going to shape out, had 1st and 2nd locked up. They're going to find out who's going to win off their own. Pretty much just determined that one. But, yeah, their lives now became a lot more difficult off of that yellow.
Now, obviously, if you're in this situation, you will not pit here. Everyone's going to stay out.
You would think so, especially with the tires not really being as worth it as it would be in other places. There really is no reason to come back down, in my opinion.
I would be extremely surprised if anyone came in. Oh, wow.
Well,
Susie's. The KTS teammates with split strategies. So a lot of drivers taking their final sets right here.
yeah, I wouldn't have done that one, especially with there being 40 laps to go. It's yeah, you do not want to have to deal with that late in the race, not having tires.
Absolutely. I don't know about the strategy for 6 of these drivers. I understand they'd have 8 laps of fresher tires, obviously.
The other question too, is that even gonna really net you that much of an advantage? Because I don't think so.
I don't think it. Honestly, I don't really think it would, unless they just top off on fuel. And taking a look at the drivers that did pit, nobody topped off on fuel. They went 4 tires, so.
Yeah, it's a risky business doing that. I guess they kind of figure, not being a ton of cars in this field, that they can get away with it and be fine. But even then, not really a risk I would want to take. I know for me, I'd rather be out front and not have to worry, have to, pretty much just play a mix between offense and defense the whole time.
Absolutely.
So like I'd be a lot safer place, but
So
that's me and that's them.
So still under the yellow flag here. While we're at it, let us know who you're going to pick to win here, as we're going to have 40 laps to go, under 40 laps to go, I should say, when we go back to the green flag. Chat's been pretty quiet tonight. I think, when you miss a broadcast one week, you think, oh, great, the series is dead, probably. I don't know.
Oh man. Well, if there's any race to miss, it was last week. Yeah, that one drug on. I actually got in the race control booth to get a little experience in that, and it seemed pretty easy, at least there. So maybe that's my calling. I'll just sit in a race control booth for 2 hours and give people direction.
Yeah.
Yeah, that might be good.
Our savage man, Chris Lynn, is picking Smeal on a side bet Isley. That's my guy.
What position is Smeal?
20th.
What is he gonna do? Restart the race?
Let's see here. Yes. He'll have the fastest car. It'll be like an F1 car.
I could see it happening. Don't take my job, please. Okay. I might, at this point. I might try it out. I know Mark wanted me to try out race control and commentating, and I said, heck no.
That's not going to work. No, I know people that do that. I used to do that. It's so tough.
Yeah, no. I don't have the mental capacity for that. I can stay focused on one task only. Everything other than that.
He says, come take my job, please, Crowder. So.
Yeah, no thanks.
So we restart this race with the top 2 that have stayed out. That's Dylan Clark and Tyler Isley. Everyone else will have a range of about 5 to 8 of laps of fresher tires. Josh Susi and Don DeGroot, row 2. And it's Kayla McCarthy and Stan Mayberry, row 3. Brian Preslar, David Salter, row 4. Then Mark Sikosi restarting in 9th position. and Steve Strittmatter in 10th, who got the free pass. We'll see how this plays out, as we've got 39 laps to go after our 4th yellow of the race. As Clark fires it, we're back to green. Let's see how Susie plays a factor in this with 8 laps of fresher tires. Gets away Isley. Now McCarthy looking for 3rd, her highest spot today in this race. Isley still fighting back in the low line, who got loose off for 2.
I mean, we're looking at Susie. He got those fresh tires. I thought he was going to be back in like 8th, but no. Sorry, up to P2.
Those drivers
Problem for him.
that pitted, that's their last set, betting that this is the final yellow of the race. As we've seen a couple of long runs in this race tonight, but you never know. If this is a late race caution, it could play into the hands of Dylan Clark and Don DeGroot. McCarthy and Isley nearly touch down the back chute.
Yeah, we've seen a lot of aggression from Isley in the past. He definitely is on that ragged edge when it comes to
Up, David
keeping
Salter
things together.
off track, keeps it straight. We stay green, back to 3rd. Actually, back to the lead. Let's watch Susie down the backstretch.
He's just trying to get a run on my man right here. I think the best place to try to pass is definitely into 1. Best case scenario is getting a run off of 2. That is way, way, way easier said than done.
Let's go to 4th spot. Caleb McCarthy and Stan Mayberry. And the 2 drivers that still have an extra set left: Dylan Clark, Tyler Isley. If I'm them, I'm hoping for a yellow with about, probably say 10 to 15 laps from now. That way you can pit, and that way it could give you enough time to pass the 8 drivers that had already pitted on their last set. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, if you're a car that, like if you're Clark, for example, didn't pit on that last deal, you want that caution to come as late as physically possible. 5 laps to go even. You want your advantage to be as big as you possibly can get it, and if a caution comes out right now, there's 0 advantage to be gained.
Isley way loose off of turn 4 last lap. McCarthy steals 3rd position away. Isley nearly puts the bumper on Kayla. That got a little bit close. Here comes Stan Mayberry in the 99, looking for 4th.
Yeah, this is where you get a feeling. Yeah, that was dangerously close, but this is where you get a feeling that Isley kind of wishes could have like a driving coach, give him some other opinions on what to do in these situations, because he is so fast and he's so strong in these runs, but he ends up making decisions that puts himself in side-by-side battles when he doesn't need to be. And you see right here, instead of settling in, he's now in side-by-side battle. And it's just making it really rough on him.
Just a change for 6th position. Brian Preslar getting by Don DeGroot a couple of seconds ago. Isley hanging on to 4th position. Now, let's go back to what happened at Las Vegas when him and Landon Lacey were battling for the win at Las Vegas. A yellow had come out for Kayla McCarthy after she blew her engine. Tyler Isley had already used his final set of tires, and that gave Landon Lacey an opportunity to pit for his final set. They restarted on the front row, and guess who got the win? Landon Lacey, obviously. Isley hoping for a yellow. But I got to tell you what, I got to give credit to Dylan Clark here. 8 laps of scuffs compared to Josh Susie, and has opened up a gap to 0.3 of a second.
Let's talk about another thing too. Get a little techie on him, a little tech talk.
Okay, Freddie Benson.
Yeah, thank you. That's actually what I was going for.
Tech talk with Freddie.
Oh my gosh. Man, I missed that show. I saw that. That show was on a little side quest here. That show was on in a player's lounge at Tech the other night, and I was over the moon. I got to watch iCarly. I was so happy.
I have it on my iMac. I have the entire season of Nickelodeon, the entire series of when it was on Nick. Oh, trouble. Mark
Wow.
Sikosi off the track, saves it. 9th position. Back to 3rd, though. Isley right there on McCarthy.
But yeah, real quick, put this little nugget in there. While Dylan Clark does have older tires, under that caution, well, during the green flag, his tires are going to heat up. Then they're going to cool back down, and when the rubber cures, as it's called, it's going to be harder. So at this point, he's going to have a harder compound of tire, and his tires are going to be able to last longer than Susie's over the run. So the longer this goes, the advantage is going to push more back into the hands of Dylan Clark. Thank you. I will be here all night.
That's Ashton Crowder, folks. This is a man that knows his iRacing.
Real life racing too. If
Absolutely.
anybody wants to hire me, I'm definitely here.
We're keeping you for life.
Okay.
Let's go back
excited
as
to be here.
Sikosi trying to rebound after getting loose, and he's battling with David Salter for 9th position on the track. Go back to the lead, though.
It's the point where things start to get a little bit spread out, as we're seeing here. But Kayla, though, I think she's the most important to point out.
Yet to lead
She's been-
tonight.
Yeah, she's been fast early in the runs, and things have, you know, kind of fallen away from her late. But with her being this far up the order, you know, it could be possible with her getting that cleaner air that car doesn't fall off quite as much as it did earlier in the race.
Got to step aside here with 25 laps to go. When we come back, we are taking you right to the finish, so stay with us. Final 20 laps here at Texas Motor Speedway. And it's coming down to 4 drivers at least who have a chance to win it if we do not have a yellow flag. Dylan Clark leads it. Josh Susie runs in second. and he's looking for second on Susie. This is a big one on the line right here if he can get the second spot, but this loses momentum to race leader Dylan Clark. Great defense from Susie. Isley tries to cross over. He tucks it back in line. And then you've got Kayla McCarthy in fourth, who could play as a spoiler and not give any of the drivers in the top three a chance to punch their ticket to Phoenix in a couple weeks.
Yeah, Isley's got to be careful trying that move in 1 and 2. He got really loose off the top, slid the rears, went into 3 and 4, tried to run the top, sorry. Slid the rears again. So he's got to be real patient with that car, and he's not. He is practically spinning right now. Those Goodyear Eagles are not going to like that whatsoever.
I tell you what, Susie thought about looking on Clark for the race lead. Clark actually just touched the apron there in turn 4. Susie doesn't take advantage of it though with 18 to go. Again, keep in mind, Clark and Isley have 1 tire set left. If a late race yellow comes out, you know they will go for that final tire set. Considering the fact that there are 10 drivers on the lead lap, they would love that yellow to come out right now. We've got a driver off track though, Alan Crowell, no caution.
Well, the thing that's most peculiar to me is the fact that nobody is trying to get to the inside of Clark on entry. And what I mean by that is not trying to pass him, but they're not trying to get the clean air down there. They're just trying to arc out more than him. I feel like that's hurting them.
Bump draft into 3. Perfectly timed. Anything later, Clark may have been going around. Something I'm thinking of here perhaps at the moment, if you're Josh Susie here, there's a couple of things you got to think of here. Number 1 is you're just trying to wait with Dylan Clark and just at the moment just try and once we get to the white flag, that's when the racing begins. Number 2 though, at the same time, you've got Tyler Isley who wants to race and try and punch his ticket into Phoenix.
See, I could sit here and circulate on all of this, but I feel like I need to learn my lesson on that. Let's watch what happens. This is a great battle for the lead here. We got 4 cars within a second, then 8/10 that is. And I mean, they have put on a heck of a show all night.
Nothing from Susie yet. Just tries to make his move, and you just hit the nail right on the head. They have put on a great show all night. Clark, Susie, as well as Isley. Isley, those only led 1 lap tonight. Susie and Clark combined have led the most, obviously. But they have put on a great battle. The gap pretty much on these long runs, not really been under a second tonight. Isley tried to make his run move there on the exit of 2 there, Ashton, but didn't work out at all.
No, and he's picking the wrong spots. I don't really like to be super critical of any moves these guys make, because I know how hard it is to judge off or being inside the car from out. It's definitely a lot harder inside.
Whoa!
But you see there, he's pushing so hard on entry to try to close these gaps that he's just sliding dear life on exit.
He's used up, I think personally he's used up his tires. Take a look at the time delta there. So that's between, no, I don't want to look at that. Last 5 laps between Isley and Susie. It's going to slow down big time. He's lost a couple of tenths. Last 2 laps he's lost a tenth a lap. His tires are getting used up. He's lost about a second a lap, and that actually goes the same way for the leaders too, but a lot more tire wear for Isley compared to the top 2 at the moment.
Well, it's not so much the wear as it is the heat. The hotter these tires get, the worse off they are. It's been that way since pretty much the beginning of time. I mean, you're seeing that right here. More and more he slides, more of a disadvantage that he has, and you just have to understand that. Approaching these runs, the more you slide, the worse it's going to be, and you got to be really disciplined and really patient.
You've got right now, from from the looks of it. 12 drivers still running on the track. We lost half the field in this race today. 10 are on the lead lap. And it's pretty much right now come down to 3 drivers in a battle for the race win. Isley was able to make the gap back up last time by. Susie was a tenth slower in the last 2 laps, so that's put Isley back in the thick of things. Remember, Isley did have a nice draft.
Yeah, Isley is in, I would say, the best position right now to do something. He's learning from these guys. He's understanding where they're running. And he's getting that big draft, so he is able to kind of lay off and be a little easy here and still run really competitive times. Is he doing that, laying off part? I don't think so.
No.
But definitely is his bag of tools here.
Thought for a moment Susie was going to look to the inside. Clark a much better arc entering turn number 3. Right now, what I'm thinking here personally, if you want to get 2 KTS cars in the championship 4, as these are the only 2 still left in the round of 8, as Isley falls off the pace once again. If I am them, if Isley gets back up there, oh, Clark got loose off of 2. Does Susie look? Nope, he backs off of it. What I'm thinking here is, if you're Josh Susie at the moment, if Tyler Isley's in this situation, you look really comfortable making the championship 4 off the points no matter what happens. Try and get Dylan Clark in. It would be a tougher road for him to get into the championship 4 via points. I mean, he does have at least 14 playoff points, which is pretty good, but don't want to have that big risk in case Dylan does get involved in a wreck at either Kansas or Martinsville next week. Again, this would be if Isley gets back up there, but I'd probably think that no matter what happens, I think Susie would put Dylan Clark in the championship 4 right now in this situation. But we'll see what happens in the next 6 laps, though.
Susie plays his role as a teammate really, really, really well. Been kind of sort of teammates with him some this year, and he always does a great job, and he's never putting his teammates in bad positions, and he's always putting them in great positions. And saw that already come down to the stage. He let Dylan get in front of him and sacrifice himself. So to your point, Marty,
Yeah.
I think we could be seeing that still to the end here.
No lap traffic right at this point. Right on board. Nobody ahead. So looks like they'll come to the finish line with clean air. 4 laps to go at the line. 6 miles remain at Texas. See if it comes down to Dylan Clark or Josh Susie. If it goes green to the end, the winner of this race will punch their ticket to the championship 4 3 weeks from now. See if Susie tries to get the run here. There's the bump draft. Perfectly timed bump draft before you got to let off there on the brakes.
Well, we're gonna see here in the next couple laps or so if he's really gonna try to, if Susie's gonna try to push to make a move, or if he's just gonna sit there. Because if he's trying to push, he's gonna do what he just did on entry of 1 right there. He's gonna start running higher on entry, try to keep his momentum up, and try to make some sort of move down the back straightaway.
Dylan Clark, by the way, looking for his 3rd win of the season and his 1st win on an oval. Could see an AJ Allmendinger-esque reaction if he does get the win. Josh Susie looking for his 8th win of the season, make him the wins king this season. More importantly, whoever wins this race is going to Phoenix as a championship contender. Susie looked like he had the better exit. If he wants this one, I think he's going to wait. Not, he could wait. He could put Clark in the championship 4. Car length and a half separate the top 2. White flags out. 1 lap to go at Texas. Let's see if Susie tries to tuck underneath. Decides to wait on it.
And he's gonna run high. He's gonna get a little bit tight. He's going to have a pretty good run here.
He's got the run. Down the backstretch, final time. He makes the run to
up
the
for close.
inside. Pulls up to the door of Dylan Clark. Is this a last lap pass for Josh Sutsy? Or does Dylan Clark get the drive on the outside? Side by side, drag race coming to the end. Who's it going to be? Give it to Clark. 400ths of a second. Dylan Clark punches his ticket to Phoenix.
I mean, what a job from Dylan there. Just kept it calm, cool, collected, run the top side. Kept his run up, kept his momentum up. And you couldn't have ran that any better if you're Dylan Clark.
Dylan Clark's first win on an oval, and Dylan Clark will race for a championship in 3 weeks' time. Second place, Josh Susie, and no doubt about it, without question, I think we could just say that Josh Susie will be racing for a championship as well, regardless of points and a win. But Dylan Clark gets the job done.
He does, and played a great team game the whole night with him and Susie, keeping him in a really good position, and that's not taking anything away from his win. That's just how you should do it. I mean, they did a great job. The Hendrick guys do it every week, putting themselves in really good positions, and he's got to be over the moon right now.
Here's the final lap from the aerial shot. Better exit from Josh Seuss. He got the draft needed nice toe and just pulls up to the inside. He knew that they were going to race it for the win, and they were going to race it clean. That's the best part I liked about it. The KTS drivers didn't want to door each other. This was a clean finish to the end, and the 24 degrees of banking in turns 3 and 4 on the outside just propelled Dylan Clark out to the end as the winner.
Yeah, the KTS guys always keep it clean, especially when they're racing each other. It's very rare that you'll see them in some sort of controversy. That's why it was so surprising to see Kayla and stuff that she was in a little bit earlier in the season. But gone back to victory lane. That's really big time for them.
As they work together to push Dylan Clark into victory lane somehow. Let's first talk with our third place finisher, Tyler Isley. Tyler, just talk about your race as well. And you had one tire set left. Were you trying to bank a yellow to come out with about maybe 20 to go to have much fresher tire wear and see if you could have a chance to get that win?
No, I had 2 laps on my tires when the yellow came out, and I was, hoping I'd be able to get there without any teammate games or non-playoff drivers trying to put me in the wall. But otherwise, it was a pretty good run. Honestly, we were pretty solid all day. Just kept it clean, and up there when it counted, I thought I would have had something for them. But they're doing what they have to do, and I'm not mad about it. They got to get their guys into the championship 4, and I'm not.
Overall, how much? Yeah, go ahead.
I was gonna say no hard feelings, but it's frustrating because I think I could have beat him if it was one-on-one.
Yeah, overall though, how much fun was this race overall? A lot of lead changes, and the car was slipping and sliding throughout.
Not very. I hate this place. I'm not gonna lie. 3 and 4 is fun. 1 and 2, I couldn't get figured out, and even at the end, you probably saw me slipping and sliding around on about 25% of the laps. So it's unfortunate. Definitely, I think we could have won, but we'll just take it and think that we thank God we got momentum going and keep moving.
Who do you want to give shout-outs to on your run tonight?
Yeah, I just want to thank Rock and KRB Ranch, Embroidery Designs, all of them back home who support what I'm doing and watch every week. It means a lot, my family and everybody. And yeah, I guess we're gonna get back to drinking this ice cold NOS and move on to next week.
All right, we'll let you go. Great run tonight, and good luck to you next week.
Thanks, you too.
Tyler Isley can definitely understand his frustration. I'm a little bit surprised too, Ashton, that he said only had 2 laps on his tires.
Yeah, he did. He did pit quite late, didn't he? Something
Yeah.
I think we kind of overlooked
Yeah,
there.
remember he had pitted on lap 153, so Anyway, let's talk with Josh Susi. Comes up short in the photo finish. Per the iRacing live timing, it was 54 thousandths of a second. Let's talk with Josh Susi, though. Josh, let's just talk about that finish, man. Um, how bad you want this win at the same time? I know you're also trying to help Dylan get in the championship for when it comes to the playoff point situation that he was in.
Full transparency, I didn't need it as bad as he did, so I was gonna make a run for it, but I was doing everything in my power to make sure I didn't take him out and raced him clean. And the first priority was to get us to the end, just working together, dirty in the air as much as possible for third on back, and giving pushes down the backstretch to try to extend our lead and just ride with him and make it so we're not using up our stuff. And like I said, he needed it more than I did. The point situation, um, I went for it, but I didn't throw it down in there, or use him up or anything. I was going to do everything I could to take care of him. And if I got it, I got it. If not, good for him. And it's one less thing we got to worry about for Phoenix.
Yeah, just talk about that final lap as well. Was the game plan just to get a much better exit off of turn two and then get that slipstream down the back straightaway and get the door opened up on the bottom?
Yeah, I mean, I think that's pretty much about the only way you can get a pass done here is either you get a really good run out of four and try to throw it in under two, but it's so tight there that I don't like that option as much as trying to get a run through one and two and get in the bottom into three. I feel like you have a very higher probability of completing your pass if you make the move into three than into one. But uh, I mean, that was the game plan. I noticed all run long. I was kind of cutting the corner a little better than him. He was, I think, getting on the throttle a little too soon and pushing up on exit. Didn't help. He had like, I don't know, 6 or 8 laps on his tires. Um, so yeah, I just kept that in my mind throughout the course of the run, and I tried telling him to ease up on the center of the corner, and he'd do it for a few laps, then he'd go back to pushing. And I was like, well, I'm just gonna let you do your thing, and then it should make it interesting at the end.
Want to ask you as well under that final yellow. I think he had Ashton and I surprised at the fact that the majority of the drivers on the lead lap decided to come in, especially 8 laps after you guys had pitted under the green flag. Was that just a strategy call to just bank that that this race was going to go green to the end, considering how many long runs we had in this race?
Sort of. I mean, I wanted as fresh as tires as I could get. We still had 2 sets left. For some reason, we had like 6 sets of tires to start the race, so we had two in the bank sitting there. And I know I'd been out there about 8 laps, and I figured even if I fell back to fifth or sixth, I'd rather have fresh tires. And I felt pretty confident in the car's capabilities to be able to move up back through the field. And if it did stay green, that was even better because the car was really good on long run. So I figured a lot of the guys behind us was going to come in and take tires. I'd rather be on offense than defense. So, um, if I cut them off at the knees, so to speak, on their strategy, then that's one less thing I had to worry about.
So just to confirm, the black box had 6 tire sets when you took the initial green flag instead of 5, and then obviously plus the initial set you guys started with.
Yeah, I mean, I still got a set sitting in right now
Okay.
in the pits that I didn't even use. So, I mean, even if we got a caution with 20 to go or something, I was still safe. I had a set to burn, so I didn't feel like the cons were going to outweigh the pros. So,
Okay.
roll the dice, put Dylan in a good position to be leading. I thought he was coming down with me, and he decided to stay out. And I was like, well, at least you'll be able to be in control of the restart. And was able to line up behind him on the restart, get a good jump, and play defense and offense from there, and settle it between the two of us.
Who do you want to give shout outs to on the run tonight?
Everyone at KTS Nitro Setups. Big shout out to Russ. Some last minute tweaks last night on the setup. They really came in handy here. Um, everyone that showed up tonight, we had a pretty decent sized field. As always, you guys for being up in the broadcast booth, calling it out, giving your insight. Big pickup to have Ashton up there helping you. I'm sure he has plenty of knowledge to share.
Pretty damn
And
good.
yeah, uh, congrats to Dylan. Kayla wasn't quite able to get third, but she rebounded from the damage she got. Get fourth. That's pretty strong showing for the team. So he's wrapped up and ready to go to Phoenix. I'm pretty much wrapped up. I got a good points cushion. It'd be even better if I can win next week, but I don't have that stress level some of those other guys on the cut line do. So took care of business tonight, maximized points pretty much, and it was a good night for the team. So that's all I can ask for.
Great job tonight.
Thanks, man.
Josh Susie finishing in second position. Now it's time to go to victory lane as we'll talk with your race winner, his first oval win and the first driver to punch his ticket into the championship for Dylan Clark. Congratulations, man. How does this one feel?
It feels amazing. Win 2 in a row. I feel like I have a lot of momentum going into the round of 8 and now the round of 4. It feels really good. It just, I believe the last time I was talking to you was Road America.
Yep, that it was.
With a victory. But it felt really good to get 2 in a row here, and let's carry this momentum over to Kansas, Martinsville, and then hopefully Phoenix.
Yeah, let's talk about this final lap. Just what are you thinking at the end of the rearview mirror? Obviously, Josh was going to go for it as long as he raced it clean and just making sure you got to the start-finish line without any damage.
Yeah, I knew that he was better off of 1 and 2, and if I was able to get a good exit, I knew I could steal it off, but I did not get a good exit off, and he got a really good one, and luckily I was able to keep it on the outside. I think it was just the worn tires on the bottom. Maybe clip the apron, I'm not sure, but he got a little loose, I believe, down there, and I was able to hold it on the outside, but it's always great to have a photo finish come to the line.
Do you think as well possibly you had the 24 degrees of banking on the outside to power you through the start-finish line?
I definitely think that was a key factor. I mean, I was able to keep my foot in a little more, and it's not as bumpy up there, and I think it was just more momentum off the top, and he got a little bit loose on the bottom there, and overall, photo finish, but yeah, I feel super good.
What was the decision as well to, on that final yellow, to stay out? I know a lot of drivers came in, and I know you had 2 sets of tires left.
Yeah, I was really watching Susie, but I was really watching my mirror with Isley, and I saw that he was not poking his nose down, and I saw fresh track in front of me, and I was like, this is going to be I was able to control the restart if I stay out here, and I made a gutsy call, and luckily it worked out.
Well, now for these next 2 races, it's got to feel good to breathe and relax and be happy and not have to worry about pointing your way in the championship 4, I bet.
Oh, absolutely. I have no need to race people hard, so if anyone is faster than me, I'm not gonna pull over, but I'm not gonna race them super hard and jeopardize their race or my race, and just go in there and nice, cool, calm, and relaxed, and just race and have fun.
Who do you want to give shout-outs to on your run tonight?
Everyone at KTS, Nitro Racing Setups, Raise Energy, really everyone that supports me throughout this entire thing, and you guys for putting on a great show, and my parents for giving me this awesome sim rig.
Well, enjoy this one, man. Congratulations on the win.
Thank you. Have a good one, guys.
You as well. Dylan Clark taking home his 3rd win of the season back-to-back, his first one on an oval. As you see the official results on your screen, a great night of racing, Ashton, that's for sure.
Yeah, it really was. I mean, there wasn't really a dull moment in it, to be honest. There's always something going on. I know a lot of people do not like this Texas, and I understand why. But I think it's a little bit unjust because you get racing like we saw tonight, and I mean 200 laps of a constant battle, something to behold. So really excited with how it happened.
Absolutely, and then we have the rest of the field here on your screen. Tough races for Justin Dills as he will be in the hole big time as we come into the next 2 playoff races at Kansas and Martinsville.
Yeah, those 2 are gonna be pretty interesting, especially Kansas, off the fact that every line there is a good line. saw a little bit of multi-groove racing tonight. Definitely see a lot there. Uh, I'm really intrigued to see how many people actually build for the top side at Kansas. I know that's kind of people's like fallout. They go up there and just kind of hold it, and then guys on the bottom are not really having to push as hard, running same or better lap times, pull away at the end sort of deal. That's kind of how it goes. So that's gonna be, yeah, that's gonna be something. I'm really excited to see that.
So with that being said, we will log off for the night. And don't forget to tune in next week. We are at the Kansas Speedway. Start time somewhere between 8:45 to 9 p.m. here on twitch.tv/Marty Sakala and the National Sim Racing League Facebook page. That will do it for us here tonight. On behalf of our sponsors, on behalf of everyone at the National Sim Racing League, our admins in charge, Justin Diltz and Mark Sikosi, race control director is Chris Lynn. On behalf of my broadcast partner, Ashton Crowder, Marty Sakala signing off. We congratulate Dylan Clark, the first driver in the championship 4 as he wins at Texas Motor Speedway. So long, everyone.